We are now on the first day of the month, July 1st, 2019. The price of gold today fluctuate every day, change every minute. Previous days, the price was 46,800, then come down to 45, then come down to 44. Today, the price of gold is 44,754.22 on the world market demand. Now you're gonna say, well, Amina, why are you online? That's a very good question. Well, Amina is the one who brought this live video to promote Africa, 98% gold coming from Africa, to promote that Africa has a rough diamond produced in Sierra Leone, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Angola, Conakry, Guinea, Bamako, Mali, and so forth. So Africa is a huge continent. They are rich on natural resources. You're gonna say, oh well, Amina, have you been to Africa? Yes, I have been to Africa many times. I have a transaction successful. So that is the reason why I'm the one who brought this live video so that the buyer would be aware that gold is not for credit. The buyer would be aware that gold is not CIF. Gold and rough diamond is a cash business. Do you understand, girl's best friend? So therefore, you as the trader, buy and sell, be prepared that you have a capital. Be prepared that you have $1,000,000 or $500,000 in your bank account before you make a final decision to buy gold and diamond in Africa. Because Africa is a cash transaction. This is not CIF. The meaning of CIF, cost, insurance, and freight, that is normal. You have to pay the shipping cost. That is normal. You have to insure the gold or diamond. It is your responsibility to insure. You inspect. When you like it, you pay for it. Then the seller will secure export documentation that the gold is free of illegal activities, that the gold that you pay the gold, that the gold will be yours when you fully paid, and you will be given an custom clearance, and after that you will insure your gold and you pay the shipping cost. Now, every video I already explained it, but still you cannot comprehend. Today I have 7 conference. Buyers are longing for supply, and they were being burned out. They were being burned out in Ghana. They were being burned out in Nairobi. They were also burned out in Mali. They were also burned out in Conakry, Guinea, and they were also burned out in Sierra Leone. Why are you going to be burned out? Very simple. You are asking for cheap price. Those seller that selling you cheap price, they have no license to export to you. They sell it online. They will ignite you to come, but when you arrive on that particular country, it's no longer cheap. So that seller, he didn't tell you transparency. So you were excited because it was very cheap. But you must remember, there is a value on that gold and rough diamond. You must remember you need to inspect before you pay. And you must remember you need to have a contract. You need to place an order through your letter of intent to buy. Now, Mr. Buyer, you've been floating around from Facebook to YouTube because we are now online. There are 6.6 billion Facebook follower. There are 6.6 billion YouTube follower. We are now on the global communication. Here in Australia, we sell online. We sell groceries online delivered to our doorstep. You can buy insurance online. You can do banking online. Here in Australia, we are modern. Our banking system is paperless now. I don't even carry money on my wallet. Everything is swipe by phone. So I'm the one who introduced this. You need to be thankful, Mr. Baya. I am the only person who give you the right direction. I do understand you were burned out. I feel sorry for you. Today you will no longer burn out because Wilhelmina is guiding you. Wilhelmina is putting everything online, what necessary documentation that you need. Very simple, Mr. Buyer. After you watch, you click below, you will see the carats, the purity, the origin, the mode of payment is very, very important. This is not CIF. This is FOB, cash transaction, bank-to-bank payment. Now, you're going to say, well, Amina, how I'm going to pay? I don't want to pay upfront. There is no upfront, Mr. Buyer. There's none. You place your order, you send a letter of intent. After you read the full corporate offer after this video, you read it thoroughly. Take time, don't rush. Because this is not a rush business. You are buying $500,000, Mr. Buyer. So, you click below, you will see the corporate offer. FCO means full corporate offer, the carats, the purity, the origin, and the export documentation that you are going to need when you take the gold out of the country. Now, Mr. Buyer, when you send a letter of intent to buy, attention to Wilhelmina, on your company letterhead, I myself will pick up the phone. I myself will call you. Mr. Buyer, I received your letter of intent. Is this your signature? You need to put everything on your letter of intent to buy coming from you, Mr. Buyer. Your address, the refinery address of your destination, the mode of payment and how many quantity you need, the carats and the purity, you need to state that. What are you intend to use, Mr. Buyer? You need to state that on your letter of intent for me to determine whether you are serious or not. Do not play games, Mr. Buyer, because you are buying money to make money. So therefore, you need to be transparent enough to tell us that you are really serious buyer, because we are here to do business with you, and we are here to help you, and we are here to supply in a long term. You are a new customer, Mr. Buyer. My seller have an existing customer. So we are not here to chase you. You are chasing the supply. You are talking to Wilhelmina transparency. Wilhelmina will determine which seller I'm going to put you. Bamako Mali, the land of plenty. Hi. Conakry, Guinea, the land of plenty. Sierra Leone, the land of plenty. So which one you like, Mr. Buyer? Wilhelmina will determine which available stock we have. So I want you to take time to read. I want you to go to my main page. You will see gold and diamond. Now you're going to say, well, Amina, what is the price of gold today? That is a very good question, Mr. Buyer. The price on the world market today is 44,754.22 on the world market. Now, Mr. Buyer, our selling price per gram is 41 per gram. You are buying unrefined. However, Wilhelmina will give you a very good deal because my seller will trust you. Especially if I'll take you to Conakry, Guinea or Bamako, Mali or Sierra Leone. I would help you to negotiate. I will help you to secure properly. But you need to convince us, Mr. Buyer, that you have a proof of fund, your bank statement that you have $1 million on your gold or on diamond. Now let's talk about it. Now I'm going to go to the world market, Mr. Buyer. Assuming I'm going to put you on Bamako, Mali, because Bamako, Mali is the third largest gold producer in West Africa. Now, I'll give you less 8% to start with. But I'm gonna say, well, Amina, do I get the profit? Yes, you get the profit, 3,625. Now, our selling price, Mr. Buyer, is $41,000, 680. Which one you like, Mr. Buyer? Do you think you can afford to buy? You're gonna say, well, Amina, do you think you can ask your seller to give me a little bit of leeway? Mr. Buyer, well, Amina has the power to convince my seller to give you a very good price. How about if I'll give you 10%, Mr. Buyer, because you buy direct to us? You are not going to deal with broker. Mr. Buyer, broker have no idea what he's doing. I am here to help you. I am here to help you and my seller to put together. I am your facilitator at the same time. Now, you're gonna say, well, Amina, on 40, on 10%, do you think I have get the profit? Yes, your profit on 10%, Mr. Buyer, per kilo is 4,531.32. So you still get the profit, Mr. Buyer. But if you are floating around, chasing around from broker to broker, Mr. Buyer, you need to pay your own broker. So we don't pay double commission here. We don't. Instead, we give it to you directly, Mr. Buyer. So you keep the profit because you're going to have a costing, Mr. Buyer. So, Wilhelmina would not entertain middlemen, Mr. Buyer. I don't. I rather prepare to deal with you directly. Now, Mr. Buyer, going back to your letter of intent to buy. Attention to Wilhelmina. Then when I review it, I will make a phone calls. Then I will advise my seller to proceed the contract. So I gather all your information, Mr. Buyer. Then we will send you a letter of acknowledgement that your order is confirmed. 10 kilos, 20 kilos. We will confirm. Now, it's about time for you, Mr. Buyer, to send me your business license, your passport copy, and your proof of fund bank statement. That's all we need. The reason why Wilhelmina is asking you that, in order for us to believe that you are a buyer. It doesn't matter if you have a buyer, a refinery, we don't care. You are a trader, you buy and sell, you convince us that you can afford to pay. You resell it to trade person, it is your business. Our business is you. We supply to you, you sell it to your customer. That is our business. You understand that, Mr. Buyer? Now, you're gonna say, well, Amina, where I'm going to fly? How about I'm putting you to Bamako, Mali, the third largest gold producer in West Africa? So then, we will send you a letter of invitation and landing visa, Mr. Buyer. Now, Mr. Buyer, which one you like? Would you like to take Wilhelmina with you, or you just travel by yourself? I will monitor your movement. We prepare the contract, and you're gonna come to the office. Which one you like, Mr. Buyer? I think I rather suggest personally, you need to take Wilhelmina. Why? There's a reason. In case there is an issue on the ground, Mr. Buyer, Wilhelmina can ask my seller to bend a little bit. Wilhelmina can sort it out. Why? I just come back from Conakry, Guinea. My transaction was really successful. And I took the buyer there in the head office in Conakry, Guinea. There was a little bit of issue there. And the last minute. So, if I wasn't there, the buyer would not be happy. Because the buyer said, oh, Wilhelmina's seller is a scammer. No, my seller is not a scammer. You know, there was a few mistake and delayed of the paperwork. So then, when I was there, I sorted out. So the seller paid the extension of the ticket because the paperwork was not perfectly done. So my seller is real, Mr. Buyer. I'm just giving you an example. Right? So the buyer extended his trip to going back to his country, but the seller is paying the extension of the ticket. And the seller paying extensions of the hotel. So that my seller is real because I was there and I demanded that my seller has to fix the issue. That is the reason why, Mr. Buyer, you need Wilhelmina. Now, you're going to say, okay, Wilhelmina, I need you. Yes, I do charge my extra. I do charge to cover my airfare, hotel accommodation, spending money, and food. That is very cheap, Mr. Buyer. You're buying $500,000. I'm not going to ask your commission, Mr. Buyer, because my seller, I will invoice my seller for my consultant fee. So I only charge you my travel cost. That's all you need. So you don't need to worry. This is very transparently, Mr. Buyer. You're gonna say, well, Amina, do I have how much is the tax? Sometimes I require the seller to waive the tax. Sometimes. But the price of the gold plus tax. So, Mr. Buyer, which one you like? Do I have to ask my seller to waive the tax or you pay plus tax? Now, Wilhelmina is really very good to help you to negotiate on behalf of my seller. My seller is very flexible. My seller will believe that you're a real buyer, especially you show the proof of fund. Our selling price today is $41,000 per kilo. 41,680. I will remove the 680. I will ask my seller to waive the tax. You pay for the gold. Now, how you are able to pay the gold, Mr. Buyer? On 10 kilos, right? I'll get the calculator. $41,000 times 10. That is 410. You prepare that you have 410 in your bank account, plus your expenses, plus Wilhelmina's expenses, right? So then, your 10 kilos will be reserved prior to your arrival. Wilhelmina will arrive the day before you arrive. So then I will be in the office having a meeting with my seller that the buyer is coming. So we will entertain the buyer properly. We must be transparent properly. So Wilhelmina would be in the airport to pick you up with the driver. So you're going to stay the same hotel. So you will not be worried, Mr. Buyer. Exactly the same what I have done to my previous buyer. So, Mr. Buyer, you're going to relax. Then I will take you to the head office. You're going to meet my seller. So, you're going to see the 10 kilos. That is a proof of products. You already showed the proof of fund. So, when you travel, it is the proof of product. So, you look at the 10 kilos in the office. Then, you like it. Then, the seller will bring it to DNGM in Bamako, Mali to assay the gold. Per kilo, Mr. Buyer, $100 per kilo. So, you need to prepare $1,000 to pay to the DNGM refinery to use their facilities. Now, after the assay report, you will be given a certificate of assay that the gold is 22.54, 94, 95, something like that. So, then that is the time you make your commitment. You make your payment. Let's say, okay, you get the certificate of assay. You make your down payment. You make your down payment, let's say 10,000 or 20,000, something like that. 10,000. Then the balance of 410 minus 10,000. The balance is 400,000 from your bank account to the seller's bank account. You transfer the payment after you will be given a receipt that you paid your down payment. It's not upfront, Mr. Buyer. It is your holding deposit. That the gold 10 kilos, you are going to proceed because you're happy to, to see the assay report. That is the certificate of assay. You will be given a certificate of assay from the DNGM refinery. So then, you make it $10,000, you will be given a receipt. But you don't own the gold, Mr. Buyer, yet because you have not fully paid. So from your bank account to the seller's bank account, it will it will goes to the correspondence bank. Give an allowance of 5 working days. Sometimes it delays maybe 3 or 4 days, sometimes like that. But it happened because of the time difference. So from your bank account to the seller's bank account, the payment goes to the correspondence bank to New York. Then from correspondence bank goes to the central bank of that country. Then the central bank goes to the headquarters of the seller's bank account, bank branch. Then the headquarters transfer the payment to the branch. They're gonna clear the payment whether your money is clean because of money laundering and gold laundering. So make sure your money is clean, Mr. Buyer. Now, Mr. Buyer, before you leave the country, you need to inform your bank that you are going to transfer the payment to Africa to buy valued goods. So therefore, you will be receiving my seller's mining license, business license, because we already exchanged. You provide us your business license, your importation license, your passport, your bank statement. So it would be attached on the cash contract. Before you arrive, Mr. Buyer, the cash contract has been prepared and you will see my seller's vital information, banking detail, etc., etc. Your banking detail, Mr. Buyer, must be protected. Will not go to the third party. the banking details of my seller and you would be with Wilhelmina only, and you can only see my seller banking details. We don't divulge your information to anybody. We don't. We will protect your information. Wilhelmina will protect your information. I would not divulge your vital information to anybody because the documentation of my seller is very, very important, and your information. So when you send me your business license, your importation license, and the refinery account must be stated in your letter of intent. Which one you want, Mr. Buyer? Are you going to carry the 10 kilos or to ship it to your destination? If you're going to hand carry the 10 kilos, you don't pay the shipping cost, you don't pay the insurance. It's up to you to insure. It's up to you. To me, when I travel to Africa, Mr. Buyer, I never travel with no travel insurance. I have to protect myself in case I become sick. Now, you're buying money, Mr. Buyer, so you need to insure. You need to spend money to make money. The insurance is 1%. The shipping cost is 1%, 2%. So you need it. So you come to Wilhelmina. Let us have a live video conference. I want to meet you, Mr. Buyer. All right? I want to meet you. Come on Skype. I want to see you on Skype. And we can do some asking question. But if you have any question, if you have doubt, I can answer your question. I will put you to Bamako, Mali, the third largest gold producer in West Africa. We have tons of gold. You're going to say, well, Amina, what available stock you have? We have enough. Convince us. How are you able to pay? You are a new customer. We don't know you. So you need to build your credibility to us, because my seller have an existing customer already, and my seller has been in gold business for many years. You are just to start to build your credibility to us. We don't know you, so you need to be transparent. Does that make sense, Mr. Buyer? I think I already given you the full picture on how are you able to get the gold and diamond exactly the same. You click below, there is a link. You go to my main virtual page, you will see the gold and rough diamond. Do not rush, Mr. Buyer. Don't be excited. I wouldn't be excited until you send me a letter of intent. I would be excited when you show me your bank statement, that you have $500,000, that you have $400,000, or you have $1 million. Then I would believe you are very transparent buyer. Thank you very much, Mr. Buyer. I shall wait for you to have a video conference, and if you want, just come on Facebook Live, because I would be live tonight. To the time here is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, July the 1st. I would be on live video tonight on Facebook, because there's so many buyers asking questions. They were being burned out, Mr. Buyer. I don't want you to be burned out again. Take time. Wilhelmina is with you. Don't be scared with Wilhelmina, because my seller wouldn't ask you money. There is no upfront. You have to pay for the gold. Wilhelmina will only charge you when I travel with you. If you don't, it's okay, Mr. Buyer. You travel yourself, but, Mr. Buyer, do not complain if there is an issue, because Wilhelmina is too far from you. Which one you choose? You have been burned out before, you lost money, or you're going to take Wilhelmina with you? What is my travel cost? Is peanuts. I will tell you how much I'm going to charge you, Mr. Buyer. I will tell you. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant good afternoon.